In this video, I'll demonstrate how to see the public annotations that are happening inside the tool Hypothesis. And then I want to point to 5 different texts that are being annotated publicly right now that might offer learning opportunities for anyone interested in inquiring into the potential for online social annotation. So first, I think it's important to point out that unlike kind of the usual use of a tool like this, I didn't go to a web article or a web text and click on the extension yet. What I've done instead is I typed in hypothesis with the .is/stream. What this gives me access to, so here's that URL right there, and what this gives me access to is anything that's been annotated in public. So it's really an aggregation of all kinds of annotations that are happening across all kinds of texts online right now. So I can search by tag, and one tag I might use is just MLK because today is Martin Luther King Day, and I can see all kinds of annotations where MLK either occurs in the description or is used as a tag. So I found it very interesting to pour through those and look at what kind of texts were available, and I just want to rattle through them, really rattle through 5 online annotation opportunities that I thought were really interesting and inviting. The first came from Ramey Holden, Dr. Ramey Holden from the University of Colorado at Denver, and he is preparing to use these texts and hypothesis in a course he's leading this semester about game theory and learning. So what he's got here is the article Toward an Ecology of Gaming by Katie Salen, and if I look, most of the annotations are from again, Dr. Holden waiting for his students to jump in and annotate later, and then of course anyone else, because this is happening in a public online space. Next, the University of Pennsylvania has published a version of the letter from a Birmingham jail written by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And the annotations show an instructor's assignment, and then beneath that are annotations presumably from students, but those are also again mixing with public annotations from other folks outside of the class, and so the work of that class is happening in a public space. Another article that I saw that was being annotated in public was this interesting read, A Lecture from the Lectured, and it's a collaboration from students from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, who are really offering their take on the role of lecture at higher ed. So this article is student voice, and then the annotations I think may or may not be from instructors, but it also might be of interest to an ed tech focused audience. Next, this is from Terry Elliott's blog, Impedagogy. He's been posting excerpts from the book Participatory Culture in a Networked Era. So what he's got here is he's got all of chapter 4 posted. It's about learning and literacy. And then his annotations are starting to mix with a personal learning network of other folks who are responding to his thoughts. And then lastly, again because this article appeared in the Washington Post, 5 Myths about Martin Luther King. And so this is an interesting sort of critical look at how King is portrayed, by the media perhaps, and sometimes in schools. And so folks are responding to these myths with their own public annotations. So again, that was just a demonstration of how you can see what's being annotated in public on Hypothesis, and then just sampling of some of the articles or some of the texts that people are thinking collaboratively about using that tool.